Um, Continuing our little mini series, Linda and I tend to choose a topic for the week and talk about it in our conversation on Sunday, in her talk on Monday, and now on my talk here on Wednesday. And the topic is intuition. She gave us a definition Monday, which is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Intuition can really sound special, and like special people get it. But maybe it's not so special when we use the colloquialism, I know it in my gut. That's kind of much more down to earth. And there is this new understanding that we do have a brain in our gut. So there's so many ways we pick up things, so many different ways we know things. Sometimes I think of intuition like I think about all the other kinds of ways that things are picked up that I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how when I push a button on my remote, my TV starts to stream and I can watch whatever shows I pay to watch, let's say, or want to pay to watch. And it can seem like a miracle. And then now I can just talk to this little thing called a remote and it will get me to the show. But it's just I don't understand it. It's not really a miracle. So there's some of that about intuition, that it's not that special. We just don't fully understand it. But maybe it also is mysterious. So, sometimes, once in a while, once a week or so, I get to go back to Pine Street Sangha and meditate with some people in the room with me. And I do it. I choose to do it because we do this hybrid thing. I could stay home and stream it, but I choose to do it whenever I get the chance. For the first reason, because it's easier to meditate with other people in the room with me. And it's easier to go a little deeper. Not that I don't love this Zoom thing, because I do actually. But, there's a simple explanation for why it's easier. It's like, it's easier when we do things with the group. That's why there's all these groups. That's why I prefer to do water aerobics with the class. I work harder and it's somehow easier when there's other people there. And, we could say that's a bit mysterious, but we're all used to it. And then another thing happens that's really kind of, what do I want to say? Really catches our attention, which is that when several of us or two of us or more seem to have a very similar meditation. It's strange, isn't it? And something happened recently, and I can't remember the specific topic, but three of us had meditations with the same topic, and it wasn't a real common topic. I can't remember it. But, it just confirms to me that we are more in touch when we're meditating together. And that's something else. I don't know how that works. And it seems mysterious. And, it is partly mysterious. But another part is that we really don't know why. We can't quantify it. We can't give a simple explanation, though it is connected to intuition, and it is connected to another way of knowing, another way of tuning in to one another. So there was an interesting email inquiry that came through this week by someone who attended one of our continuing education workshops that happened last Friday. And I was a little bit surprised by her request at first. She was asking if there was further training to apply reflective meditation to clients to help them make decisions. And I was surprised because I really never thought of reflective meditation that way. Although when I thought about it more, I realized I've made some really good decisions through thinking in meditation. And I wonder if part of that is some intuition came through. And I also wondered if maybe she was making this request because over the course of the day-long training, she had herself made a good decision. And maybe in her meditation, the workshop is about contemplating an ethical challenge, and you sort of look at it through a certain kind of process that I created, but also through meditation. And maybe she made a good ethical decision. That would make me happy, actually. And I think that as we become more aware of conditions at play, we are more likely to make a good decision. So I went looking on the web about intuition and meditation, and I realized I'm not sure I trust the sources that come up, especially on this topic. It's kind of a loaded topic, but I did like this that came up about decision making, actually. And this is a quote from I didn't write where it was from. Sorry. While most of us think of a big old brain, that is, that hard work is assumed, is the key to making it in this world, successful people believe otherwise. In a study where 36 major CEOs were asked to name their decision making's most critical component, 85% responded with intuition or gut feeling. I like that quote because we think intuition is kind of for, not CEO types. At least I do. But I like to think of intuition as a different kind of intelligence. And, now there's, I looked that up on the web. Well, there's 7 kinds of intelligence. There's 8 kinds of intelligence. There's 10 kinds of intelligence. You can cut the pie however you want. So as I was contemplating, I was really saying, okay, intuition was a kind of intelligence that I was always adept at. There is a childhood story of me having an intuitive knowing that sort of goes down in the family lore. So I'm sort of like more just prone to that. And, other people know things more intellectually than I do. I never got straight A's, or other people did. Or musical intelligence. Let me tell you, this never comes easy to me. But now I know that if I really wanted to do it, it wouldn't come easy, but I could develop it if I put my aspirations, time into it. So similarly to Linda, of course, I don't know how many of you might have heard her talk on Monday, but similarly, I used to look outside of myself for intuition. When I was younger, I was quite into oracles like Tarot and the I Ching, and I got many psychic readings. And many of them were quite useful, these psychic readings. They really did guide me in some good directions and offered me some good information. But there was a couple of them that happened that were not useful at all. FYI, I was always told that psychics are wrong a significant amount of time. I think a psychic told me 25%. I don't know how she got to that number, but it did stick with me that they're not, these all-knowing people. So the 2 psychic readings that really threw me I've never had a psychic reading since, let's put it that way, was a very good psychic reader who done some very good psychic readings for me, but my niece was missing, and she told me she was coming to see me. And we went so far as to set up a whole bedroom for her to stay in for as long as she wanted. And it turned out she had died, and that's why she was missing. And this psychic reading was so apologetic, but it really did, of course, make me question psychic readings. But then, and I'm not exactly sure of the order of things really here, but I went to another psychic, and he told me that I was working on writing another book. And he told me, you need to write this book. It's going to really be a big seller. It went the opposite way. I didn't get a contract for the book. It never got written. I go, okay, I don't think I want to go to psychics anymore for my knowing. I think I want to turn inward and sort out my own decisions. Now, I'm not saying this is the right way, and I am not saying that oracles or psychics are wrong. More what I'm saying is this was the developmental path for me, that meditating more and doing the reflective meditation process really does seem to develop my intuition. And just one other mention, intuition needs confirmation because our own intuitions are not right all the time by a long shot. And I had a really useful confirmation at the last 5 minutes of the retreat we taught. What was that, a week and a half ago or something? I thought it was only 5 minutes at the end. We just do this little short meditation to end the retreat. And I found myself thinking quite a bit about this client who I hadn't heard from in a long time. And then when I came out, the retreat was over, I looked at my texts, my phone. She had texted me and exactly in those 5 minutes. So it's very discreet, 5 short minutes, exactly when the text came in. Now, the content of the text did matter, but maybe more what mattered to me was the confirmation that my thinking and meditation was picking something up accurately. It could have seemed a little annoying, like, oh my God, 5 minutes and I'm spending a good proportion of it thinking about, a client, but actually I was picking something up. So again, in reflective meditation, as I think most of you know, we allow our thinking to go on. Not always, but more so than other forms of meditation. And when we do that, we'll encounter all kinds of thoughts, but just consider that some of these thoughts just might be intuitive ways of knowing. So I will end my talk there.